Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with the eSports Report. It is a beautiful Tuesday here in New York City. Hopefully you are enjoying some nice, warm spring weather. I'm Chris Puckett, and today we got an awesome show. We're talking about the first ever Nintendo-supported Smash tournament. This is for Super Smash Brothers, of course, coming up. We'll be talking with Solid Jake, our in-house Smash expert, all about what's been going on in the Smash world. Of course, we'll be talking Call of Duty League. Some huge names faced off last night. Optic, Complexity, Envy, just to name a few. And we'll be interviewing Clayster about his thoughts of what happened last night and what's going on with the Optic LAN. All of that still to come. But first, we got to start off the show by reminding you, yesterday, we announced we're going to the X Games. MLG will have an event live from the X Games. We'll be awarding a gold, a silver, and a bronze medal to 3 lucky teams. It's the first ever esports event held at the X Games with top 8 teams in the world competing there. Players, of course, winning those medals, but you can attend the event. If you're not playing, don't worry. Passes are on sale right now. Easiest place to go, ticketmaster.com/X Games. For just $89, you get 3-day access to the X Games Austin experience. Or you can upgrade, get all kinds of awesome MLG swag for a total of $189 for your 3-day ticket. Not a bad price for an epic weekend. MLG, the X Games, Extreme Sports meets video games. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Now to talk Smash, please welcome to the show a good friend of mine and our in-house expert. We got Solid Jake here. Jake, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I mean, Nintendo announced their first ever, supported event for Smash Brothers, and I've been playing this game since 2006. This is something we've been dreaming of happening. I mean, MLG support is phenomenal, but having developer support is it blows my mind.
So, basically, tournaments, something that a lot of people were questioning. Is Nintendo kind of looking for this to be a competitive title? I think this is now a step in that right direction, Jake. So, you came in with a tie today. Pretty excited about this news. Give us the details.
I mean, pretty much all we know right now is that there's going to be a 16-man invitational at E3. Nintendo said that it will be broadcasted, and they will have, commentary available at the event. So we don't know, the nitty-gritty, who's going to be there. Is it going to be Melee players? Is it going to be Brawl players? We really don't know. But they said they'll be announcing that pretty soon. But just the fact that they're supporting an event is, it blows my mind. They gave us the thumbs up for MLG, they gave the thumbs up to EVO, and that's a big deal, but this is above and beyond that. So
this is huge news. Yeah. Nintendo supporting probably their best fighting game of all time. Of course, we've seen Melee, we've seen Brawl. The new title is coming out. What have we seen about the new game?
We don't know a ton about it. They've only shown us a lot of clips here and there. The game looks faster than Brawl. It looks slower than Melee, but I think it's a good middle ground. It looks like a really, really, really solid game. It's on the Wii U and the 3DS, but I mean, it's hard to say how fast-paced and how competitive the game will be without playing it. But either way, it looks phenomenal.
So, of course, here's a look at the new Smash. We got a nice little trailer for you. And, Jake, I know you've been playing this game for years. Best character of all time in the Smash.
Well, my tag is Solid Jake, so I'm going to go for Solid Snake. But when it comes to just playstyle, Captain Falcon is the manliest, most fun to watch, and most fun to play.
And, of course, this game takes all of your favorite characters from Nintendo's greatest games, puts them all in a fighting arena. And it's pretty stellar just to see how supportive the Smash community is this long after the most recent title. And, of course, players still coming to Anaheim to compete in Melee. There's a lot of Smash hype kind of buzzing around right now. I know you are kind of on the forums. You're all over social media following every step. What is the community saying about today's announcement?
Everybody's just blown away. A lot of people are almost skeptical because of how good it seems. But it's just excitement. Everybody wants to be competing. Everybody's like, how do I get in this tournament? How do I, show up and show my skills? But it's just good. Everybody's excited.
Here's a look at the new Smash. So is the official title Smash 4?
They just call it Super Smash Bros. Wii U and Super Smash Bros. 3DS because there's actually 2 versions of the game.
Okay.
The 3DS version comes out this summer, and the Wii U version doesn't come out till this winter. So a lot of people are actually pretty curious if since the event is at E3 and E3 is in June, they're wondering, is this going to be a 3DS tournament or is it going to be a Wii U tournament?
If you could bet your money on one of them, which one would you pick?
I'm gonna say it's Wii U. I think it'd be really hard to broadcast and run a tournament on 3DS. So for that reason alone, I think it'll be Wii U.
All right, interesting stuff. So, Jake, there's your insight on the game, but we have a very special expert now joining the show. He goes by the name of the great Progducto. One of the best commentators of all time, especially when it comes to Smash. Prog, welcome to the show. How excited are you about today's announcement?
I basically have been shaking my boots the entirety of the day. The hype cannot be contained by anything wrist-strapped, make it bust. Nothing can contain the hype.
I mean, Prague, like, what's the first thing you thought about when it came to them announcing this? Was it like, who are they going to invite? Like, is this actually happening? Like, what was going through your head?
Of course, I always refer back to my closing statements in the documentary. And I'm like, yeah, this is what this scene has wanted, this sort of acknowledgement. But the level they are doing, I don't think anyone could have seen this coming. I know I certainly didn't.
Well, Prog, let me ask you this. Out of all of the players that you have seen kind of in the last 8-10 years here, who do you think deserves a spot at this invitational, and who do you expect to see?
Oh, man. I mean, there's so many players and individuals in the community that definitely have earned and deserve a spot, but it's tough making a list and picking out who ends up making onto the main stage. I don't know. I'd have to pick. I can't even think right now. I'm still shaking right now. Development. I would pick a player with that sort of resonance in the community, someone who is well known, someone who's known not just to the players but the fans of the documentary that are learning about traditional Smash or the competitive scene, and of course, someone that has that crossover capability to traditional esports. So maybe a member of Team Curse or Team Liquid, maybe one or two of those guys. Who knows?
Now, Jake, of course, we talked about Ken and Korean DJ getting picked up by Liquid, but for those who may have missed the Curse announcement, tell us who is now playing for the Curse organization.
We have Hungrybox playing for Curse and Chillin' Dude, and both are big pickups. I mean, Hungrybox is a Puff player from Florida, and Chillin' Dude is a super old school. I mean, I'm sure you know him. He's from back in the day. He's a Fox player from Maryland or Virginia. I always just merge them together.
Yeah, that area. Well, he's now tall and skinny and still really good on the stick. So big pickups there by Curse, but there's still a lot of huge names out there. Mewtwo King Mango, a lot of guys that, are dominating the scene right now that I expect to be in this 16. Who would you pick? If you could handpick 4 players, who's in your top 4 to attend this?
Well, Mewtwo King is a no-brainer. Mewtwo King is a champion of both Melee and Brawl. He's been more dominant across the board for Smash Brothers as a whole than anyone else. So he's like pretty much a given in my opinion. I want to see international support, so I would say Armada. I definitely want to see some Europeans. I want to see Armada on that list. And then I want to see old school. So I think Ken makes a lot of sense. Ken has so much history, so historic. And the 4th becomes really hard if you're saying top 4. I mean, part of me just wants to say somebody like PC Chris that isn't super involved anymore to get like different blood mixed in there, like out of what we're used to seeing right now. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of hardworking new guys that deserve it. So it's tough to say. It's tough to say.
Well, I would say support the guys who are playing your game currently if I'm Nintendo. But I definitely like the old school picks there. Does Captain Jack still play over in the Japanese scene?
Frog and I reached out to him on Twitter, and he actually did reply in regards to Anaheim. We don't know if he's going to be there, but he's interested. So
Captain Jack, make the return to the States. Dominate us once again. All right, well, guys, I know you're super excited about Smash. I want the community to send in their picks. Who do you guys want to see in the 16-player tournament held by Nintendo at E3 for the new Smash Brothers? Of course, you can hit him up at Solid Jake. Hit up Prog.
At Progducto.
Progducto?
Yeah.
Yeah, D-U-C-T-O, for those who can't spell like me out there. Prog, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where will we see you next?
That's a very, very good question. I like to remove in secret, so you never know where you're going to see me next.
All right.
Any MLG qualifiers? SK Tar? It's right around the corner,
Ooh,
right?
I'll be at Qatar, definitely. that'll be one of my next big events, if not the next event. I can't remember. My calendar's packed this summer already, so it's tough. But I'll definitely beat guitar, and I'll see everyone in Anaheim as well, of course.
Perfect. Looking forward to it, Prague. Hopefully one day you and I can join forces in the booth. Jake's going to have to give me a lot of Smash lessons before that happens. Jake, from the announcement of a tournament that is upcoming to one that just happened, let's talk about the Fighters Edge tournament that just went down. Where was it? How did it happen?
So it was over in Illinois. The UGC guys ran the event, and as a lot of people expected, Mewtwo King came out, and he just kind of plowed through the bracket. I mean, it was almost no contest. I hate to make it sound like not exciting, but he really just kind of
really good.
Decimated the competition at that event.
Well, I think we got a video for that as Mewtwo King was able to win Fighter's Edge. Of course, UGC, if you guys don't know who these people are, they've done a great job kind of building an esports studio. Gandhi and Maven work over there for them for the Call of Duty activity. But this past weekend, it was all about Smash. And I think right now we're taking a look at the grand finals. CT EMP Mewtwo King versus Dark Atma.
That's correct.
And who's who here, Jake, for the noobs of the world? Come on, not everyone plays
Smash
like
right.
you do.
So for the majority of the set, it was actually Sheik versus Sheik. Dark Atma is a Sheik main, from what I understand. I don't know a lot about him. A lot of the Midwest guys are just kind of off my radar because I'm East Coast biased, I'll be honest.
Heyo.
But that being said, for the final game, Dark Atma tried to switch to Fox. And so in this match, Mewtwo King is playing the red Sheik, and Dark Atma is the Fox.
All right, so break down the action for us. Of course, this one all about the stocks. You want to keep as many faces as you can. You run out of faces, you lose the game.
Right. If you're not familiar with Smash Brothers, I mean, you have the little faces at the bottom of the screen, as Puckett just said, and those represent your lives. Your percent goes up, and the more percent you have, the more vulnerable you become. So basically, you want to keep your percent low so that you're not as squishy or vulnerable, I suppose. And at the same time, you want to retain your stocks by not falling off the edge or getting hit into the blast zone on the sides or the top of the map. So Mewtwo King is known to be one of the best players with multiple characters in the game. He plays Sheik, he plays Marth, he plays Fox, Captain Falcon, you name it. He's pretty much a master with everyone. So there's times where you'll see him in a tournament where he'll just play random characters that you'd never expect to see in a tournament match. I mean, over this weekend, I saw him play as Dr. Mario. He played as Fox. He played as Sheik. He pulled out...
He pulled out Dr. Mario.
He did. He pulled out Dr. Mario, and it was really fun to watch because that's not something you see a lot out of Mewtwo King, at least.
Would you say Sheik is his strongest character, though?
It's debatable. I mean, I personally would say it is, but he has a very, very strong Marth as well. And of course, everyone has a good Fox. That's just a given. But some people know how to fight against Fox more than others. He's probably the most common tournament character you see. But I personally think his Sheik is by far the best of his and probably the best Sheik in the world.
Well, here you go in the best of 5. He made it look easy here against the Fox of Dark Atma. Mewtwo King crushing 3-0. He kept 3 stock there, right?
He did. It's a 3-stock victory. That is rough, but like we said, he was by far the favorite going into that event.
In a finals 3-stock victory, Mewtwo King is the king of Illinois, as Jake would say. Guys, that is going to do it for our Fighter's Edge recap. But I know there's lots of other qualifiers still to come. Yep. What's coming up next for us?
So this weekend we have an event down in Houston, Texas called Hobo, or World Hobo, and we also have a qualifier going over in Japan on the 4th. So it's a double qualifier weekend, but just the Houston event will be broadcasted on MLG TV. It'll be on MLG.TV/Clash Tournaments, and there's a lot of competition there. It's a lot of the top players, I believe. Mango's confirmed, Mewtwo King,
wow.
A lot of big names. So that's going to be a pretty intense event.
So Mewtwo King's flying all over the place from Illinois, now headed down to Texas once again. 2 tournaments going on this weekend. Jake, how do all these qualifiers fit into the bigger picture here at MLG?
Basically, if you go to a qualifier, you earn MLG seeding points. Most of them are just the top 32, you earn points. And if you win an event, you automatically qualify for champion bracket pool play.
Now, Mewtwo King had actually already earned a spot at Anaheim with his previous qualifier performance. So now that he won, does that spot go to Dark Atma, or who is going to get that spot from the Fighter's Edge tournament?
The way it works is it wouldn't really be fair if we just gave the spot to a second place at one event, but not another event. I mean, if you got second place at the event prior to that, and somebody just got second place, they qualify, it's not fair to you. So the way we do it is the spot becomes open via MLG points at the end of the season. There were already 3 spots available for MLG points, but now there's 4. So at the end of the season, the players that have the most points, they qualify for the champion bracket pool play, and they get the automatic entry.
So let's pull up that graphic one more time, guys. As you heard Jake say, the more points, the better chance you have of securing a spot at that Anaheim tournament for Smash. You can see you can attend, of course, the Houston tournament coming up this weekend, if it's not too late to enter. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Toronto coming up on the 10th of May. Then San Diego, California, and we finish things in Somerset, New Jersey at the end of May, leading into June. So if you're anywhere near those places, get out there, finish in the top 4, earn yourself some points, have a chance of attending Anaheim with a very high seed and a special bracket. Jake, thank you so much for coming on the show. Guys, we're going to a quick commercial break. Follow Solid Jake in the meantime. We'll be back to talk everything that went down last night in the Call of Duty League after this.